Well, good Saturday afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you guys are all having a great Memorial weekend and a great Saturday afternoon. I hope you can, get some of those things done that the wife wants you to get done and stuff, and keep mama happy, because we all know if mama's not happy, ain't nobody happy in the house. And in between stuffing your pie hole with hamburgers and hot dogs and potato salad and baked beans and everything else, remember what this weekend is about. It is about those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us in this country. And make sure, if you see a veteran, you say thank you to that person for all that they have done, as well as their brothers and sisters in arms. So one of the things that I'm really and truly excited about this year is actually the defensive line. The Dallas Cowboys, for the most part, have thought of the defensive line as an afterthought. In figuring that we can just plug anybody in, the defensive line doesn't matter. Well, I'm here to tell you that it does. When you look at a lot of the Super Bowl winning teams, you see a lot of dominant players on the defensive line. The numbers aren't gaudy, and most people will look at numbers of an interior defensive lineman and say, that guy sucks, because they're thinking about them as a defensive end who gets a lot more sacks. The defense is basically set up for the guys on the outside and the linebackers to make the plays, not the interior defensive line. And so it's easy to overlook them, because you look at those numbers and you're like, 4 sacks, 5 sacks, whoopie-doo. But you have to understand that it's a different ball game. You're talking about the most contact there is in football is right there in the chop block area. That area between the defensive ends and the offensive line, it is literally war, especially if you are a nose tackle, nose guard, whichever one you want to call. I'm still thinking about being a nose guard, because that's what we called it back in my day. It means you lined up on the center or you were shaded one way or to the other. But the Cowboys, for the most part, with defensive linemen, we've had guys like, George Selvey. We've had guys like Tyrone Crawford. Occasionally we've had a David Irving, a Malik Collins. But we haven't had dominant defensive linemen since probably, for a couple of years, I would say Jay Ratcliffe. That would probably be the biggest defensive lineman that we've had since the 90s. When you think of back in the day, when we used to have, the Leon Letts and things that were back in there, that defensive line, that front, set the tone for the rest of the defense. And that's what I'm hoping happens with this one. So yesterday, we ended up talking about Neville Gallimore, and I think Neville Gallimore is going to be great next year. I think the season coming up is going to be his breakout year. I thought it was going to be last year, but unfortunately for him, he ended up hyperextending his elbow and missing 13 games of the season. So that definitely stunted what he was doing. Today, I want to talk about Osa Odighizuwa, and I know I butcher up his name. That's just what I do. Osa is, and his draft profile was basically he's too small. He's kind of a tweener. And when you say a tweener, that's a guy that's kind of between positions. And that's what Tyrone Crawford was. Tyrone Crawford wasn't really big enough to be an offensive tackle, but he played some. And he wasn't really fast enough to be a great defensive end, but he also played that as well. As I said, he could do those dirty works. Well, here's the thing with Osa. Osa, who had 90 wins in wrestling, I believe, in high school. He's got great hands, he's got great speed, and he's actually played all of the positions across the line. And looking at what he did last year, numbers-wise, and let me pull that over for you guys. Let me get this. For a third-round draft pick, he actually played a good number of snaps. And let me flip the camera here. Boom. Boom. Okay, so when you start looking at it, okay, he's 6'2", about 280 pounds. I think he could use a little bit more weight because playing defensive tackle, you do need to have that weight to be able to hold the line. But here's what we had last year, okay? He started 12 games, 2 sacks, and I know you're saying, big deal, 2 sacks. But 36 combined tackles, 21 solos, 6 tackles for loss, and 11 quarterback hits. That's pretty good stat lines right there for an interior defensive lineman, especially a rookie. Now, let's go down into the deeper statistics here. When we talk about hurries, he had 3 quarterback hurries, 8 quarterback knockdowns, 14 pressures. That's not bad for a guy that was sharing time with Carlos Watkins and things as a rookie. Now, with time and with Dan Quinn, when you look at the Legion of Boom, he had guys like Michael Bennett who could play defensive end and defensive tackle. And that's kind of what we have with Osa here as well. Osa is quick. He's actually very strong, and I think he's better than what his draft profile actually was. You know, they said he's got the bust, the make it bust potential. He's like right on the line here of what he can do. But in a couple of games, he really and truly shined in a multitude of places, okay? He has played all across the line in all kinds of different situations. And see, I think of it in my personal life, okay? I played nose guard at 220. I was undersized. The problem for me was when I get double teamed, I'm going back with the cornerbacks. I'm back there in the backfield. I literally am. I'm getting lit up because I didn't have enough meat and enough weight to be able to drop the anchor, get to the ground, and hold the position. But I was fast, and I was faster than the offensive lineman. And see, that's where speed kills. And this is where Dan Quinn is going to be a master with speed. Now, he's not only fast, 6'2", 280. He's light, so that way he can move quickly. But he's also very, very strong. And the key for him it's his hands. Being that wrestler that's used to, getting guys off of them, that translates into being a defensive tackle. And what he does really, really well is he engages and he can separate and use his arms to keep you from getting hold of him. Now, I want you to take a look down here. Now, right now, he's right here. It's going to actually light up yellow. He's going to engage the offensive guard, okay? He's shaded on the outside. And when I say shaded, that means you look at the nose. If you're head up, you're nose to nose. If you're shaded, that means you're a couple of inches on one side or the other, okay? Sometimes it's very, very subtle. Or you're in the gap, which is between the two offensive linemen. He's a little bit on the outside shoulder here. He's going to engage him. He's going to get his hands on him and create separation. And then he's going to use his arm to rip and keep the offensive lineman from being able to get a hold of him. And see, here's the thing about the rip, okay? When you rip and use your shoulder and you're giving a guy this, it's a skinny, see what you see right here? You only see a skinnier profile. I know I'm still a fat ass, okay? But see, this is all the offensive lineman has to hit. If he is going on you straight on, he's got all of this that he can hit, okay? So he creates separation, and then he turns his shoulder and rips through it. So that way it's a small target. And by that time, he's already past him. Let's take a look. Watch. Now, I've slowed this down a little bit. You'll see him. Boom. He engages with his hands, creates separation, and then you see that arm go up in there? That's how you get away from him. Boom. That speed kills him. He hits him, he rocks him, and he gets him going backwards. Watch it again. Okay? It's on the outside shoulder right here. He's going to engage, get his hands on him, press him off, and then rip. Engage, separate, and then rip. Boom. Sac-a-roni. Boom. That, my friends, is textbook, okay? Textbook. He engages rocks the guy and gets rid of him, and that's the key on a lot of stuff that I actually love what Dan Quinn does. When we look at what we did the year before with Mike Nolan, it was like fundamentals weren't there. It was kind of like, okay, you're a defensive tackle, go do your thing. Pursuit angles were terrible. You could look at lane integrity, and by that you mean pass rushing, where you're supposed to be, because a lot of times we would see like a Tyrone Crawford going outside a D-Law, and it would just be like the parting of the Red Sea. The quarterback's got a great vision. He can step up and make plays. Now let's watch another one here. This time he's actually lined up in the center guard gap. And he is going to literally fake out with speed. He is going to cross the center's face and go around him to the quarterback. Now, there was a little game in here between the guards because I think they were trying to say, hey, okay, he's your man. You'll see him tap him a little bit. But Odighizuwa goes upfield and then comes around. The offensive lineman literally is left flat-footed. Look at that. Boom. He just speed rushes right between the two of them. Now, unfortunately, he just gets the arm on Hurts, but slows him down. Didn't get the sack, but he got the pressure on him. Now, watch it again. Look, you see him right there in the gap between the guard and center. You'll see the guard tap the center's leg. Oops. Up. Did I mess up? Boy, did I mess up. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. All right. Boom. Now, watch it. He lets the center know, that's your guy. And look, he's like, whoa. Speed kills, my friend. Speed kills. All right. Now, here, defensive tackle, okay? He is outside, he's between the guard tackle line here. Now, watch him. This is beautiful. Look at this. Watch this. Boom. Engage. Gets away. Now, he realizes this is a screen, okay? When it's a screen, what the offensive linemen are trying to do is they're trying to hold you for like a second. You're going to try and engage them and make them think that, it's regular pass play. I'm going to get rid of them, and now I'm going to try and run out here and get as a lead blocker, okay? It's like a great deception, all right? So he recognizes right away this is a screen. And this is one of the things that I love because, see, so many times last year, the year before, I should say, with Mike Nolan, guys didn't seem to understand pursuit angles, okay? It's kind of like with a shotgun. If you're out skeet shooting with a shotgun, you see the target, you're not aiming at the target. You're going to aim where the target's going to be, because by the time you fire that shot and that shot gets there, it's moved on. So we used to work on what were called pursuit angle drills, and everybody would have a mesh point that you would have to go. As the nose guard, ours was about the flattest one as could be, because, see, you have to understand the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If you are running where the guy is and you're kind of doing a banana route to catch him, if you're going to run where he's going to be, it's a straight shot. So it looks like you have great closing speed, but it's because he's doing a banana route and you're going straight there. And that's what he recognizes on this play. Let me back it up a little bit more here. Okay. You see him here. He's going to hit him, and he's going to recognize this is a screen. I need to get over here right now. Look, boom. Oh, it's a screen. Boom. And he goes right now to get over there, and boom, get a piece of him. And look at, and this one, I love it too, because, see, he's fast enough that he can pursue. Now, this one, he's actually out here as a defensive end. So what you've seen with this guy is defensive end, defensive tackle, and in the guard center gap, which is basically the 1, the 3, and the 5 technique. Now, they're going to do a stunt here. He's actually going to go up inside. He recognizes the quarterback's going, and he gets a great pursuit angle. And see, this is key, because so many times we've seen Aaron Rodgers get out of the pocket and all of a sudden kind of get downfield, and we've got defensive linemen that are just kind of standing around. Watch Osa. Look, he gets up in there. You see that X stunt? Randy Rary goes outside and he goes inside. Now, you see him all the way up here. Oh, let me use my arrow. All the way up here, right? Outside, Hurts is going to be going out here. He's got the wherewithal and the speed to get out there. Look at it. He's going out there right now. Now, you see that? You see where he is going flat down the line. He's not going upfield trying to get behind him. He is going to where he is going to be. That is technique perfection. Let's back it up again here. Because there's a lot of running right here, guys. Boom. Engages, gets on there, and now let me get on my horse. And boom. I got you. I got you. So he is undersized. He is a tweener. But because of his speed, because of his hands, and because of his situational awareness of where he is on the field, as well as his intelligence of understanding, I need to be at the mesh point. He is very, very good. And for a guy that is as young as he is, he's only scratching the surface. Now, I'm assuming, like everybody else, we know Golston has put on like 20 pounds. Neville Gallimore's put on like 16 pounds and things. I'm betting that Osa has put on a few pounds as well. And it's ready to wage war because, see, the thing that's going to be good about this defense, and I think Osa is a lock. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about him making the team. I could say him and Neville Gallimore, you're both on the team. It's just that's a given. Those two guys have so much potential. I'm not going to say that about Carlos Watkins or Tristan Hill or Quentin Bohannon. Those are the guys that have to kind of worry about other guys taking up the slack. But between these two guys right here, between Neville Gallimore and Osa, I think those two are probably going to be your starters. But that doesn't mean that other guys aren't going to play a lot. I expect to see Carlos Watkins playing a lot. I expect to see John Ridgway playing a lot. I might even say I expect to see Quentin Bohannon even playing in there. I'm kind of expecting Tristan Hill not to be here. But then again, I could be wrong. We could keep all of them. But with this defensive front, you have guys that are very, very athletic, very, very quick, very, very aggressive. And when you start putting in a healthy D-Law, and when we get Sam Williams, who may end up being the steal of the draft out there, this front is going to put up a lot of speed and a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. You know, I know they'll say that, Diggs will not get 11 interceptions, and I don't think that he will. But I think what you're going to see, in the same way that I say I'm not sure that Micah Parsons is going to get 13 sacks, I bet you that the team total in sacks will go up, even though I believe that Micah Parsons' sack numbers may go down, because a healthy D-Law who's going to play hopefully the whole season is going to have more than 3 sacks. A guy like Sam Williams coming in, I think he could do what Randy Gregory did as far as having 6 sacks, and having a Micah Parsons who, when he started last year, was way behind the curve. Okay, it took time for him to get up to speed of everything that the Cowboys were doing and become great as he was towards the end. I think with him being the wild card, you're going to see this team really, really getting a lot of sacks. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the breakdown that I've done here with it. This is near and dear to me because I played offensive line in high school and I played nose guard in college. And to see the Cowboys for once investing in guys that can really, really make a game changer. And believe me, you can look back at every one of our playoff losses. And the bottom line is we couldn't stop the run or we couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. And that's how we get beat. And if you can't do that in playoff time, it's hard to win. All right, good people. With that being said, we're going to roll out of here. And what we're going to end with. Just remember, you play to win.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.